From betrayal to triumph, Alice Jark's story. My name is Alice Jark, and this is the story of how the deepest wound of my life, finding my fiancé in bed with my younger sister, became the foundation of my greatest triumph. 3 months before my wedding, my world shattered. Then came their wedding invitation, with a note that cut deeper than any knife. Come see what true love looks like. Most would have crumbled or stayed away. I didn't. I walked into their wedding in a white dress, carrying a secret that would unravel their perfect day and rewrite our family's future. The moment my sister realized she'd lost an $8 million inheritance, it was justice, but it wasn't joy. It was the end of a long, painful journey and the beginning of my rebirth. If this story moves you, please like and subscribe and share where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now, let me take you back to the day my heart broke and how I pieced it together stronger than ever. The heavy oak doors of St. Margaret's Cathedral groaned as I stepped inside, my heart pounding so loudly I thought it might echo through the vaulted ceiling. 200 pairs of eyes turned, a collective gasp rippling through the pews. Is that the ex? Why is she in white? The nerve! Their whispers stung, but I held my head high, my Versace dress, chosen for my wedding, clinging to me like armor. The morning light poured through stained glass windows, catching the pearl beading and casting a soft glow around me. I felt like a ghost haunting the life I'd lost. At the altar stood Lily, my younger sister, radiant in ivory silk, white roses woven into her golden hair. Beside her was Ethan, my Ethan, in the charcoal tuxedo we'd chosen together. His eyes met mine and his face drained of colour, as if he'd seen a spectre. My mother twisted in her front row seat, her lips parting in horror. My father's jaw twitched, his hands balling into fists. Lily's grip on Ethan's arm tightened, her eyes flashing with fury and fear. Good, I thought, let her feel it. Mrs. Harrow, the wedding coordinator, rushed toward me, her face flushed with panic. Miss Jark, this is highly irregular. My invitation says 2 o'clock, I said, my voice steady as I held up the pearl cardstock. I'm here. I slid into a pew 3 rows from the back, crossing my legs with deliberate grace. The organ swelled, trying to drown the chaos my presence had sparked. Father Thomas adjusted his glasses, glancing between Lily and me, the air thick with tension. No one knew what I carried in my purse, a small wooden box, holding 6 months of patience, years of pain, and the truth that would set me free. As the ceremony began, I sat poised, ready to rewrite the story they thought they'd stolen. 2 weeks earlier, I stood in my apartment, the world silent except for the crinkle of an envelope in my trembling hands. Lily's handwriting stared back at me, elegant and cruel. Inside was a wedding invitation. Pearl cardstock, my font, my calligrapher, my dream. Tucked beneath it was her note, Dearest Alice, I know this might be difficult, but family should celebrate family. Come see what true love looks like. We'd hate for you to miss it. Love always, Lily and Ethan. Each word was a blade, twisting deeper. She hadn't just taken my fiancé, she'd stolen my vision of love and wielded it against me. I sank to the floor, the note trembling in my hands. Tears burned, but I refused to let them fall. That night, I called Sarah, my best friend. Don't go, she pleaded, her voice cracking. She wants to break you. But Sarah didn't know about my meeting with Robert Klein, Grandma Evelyn's lawyer, days before. She didn't know about the documents locked in his safe, waiting for this moment. I'm going, I said, my voice hollow but resolute, and I'll give them a wedding they'll never forget. I spent those weeks preparing, not for revenge, but for justice. For too long I'd been the quiet daughter, the one who swallowed pain to keep the peace. Growing up, I was the shadow to Lily's light. She got the red convertible at 16. I got a bus pass in a lecture on responsibility. Lily's vibrant, they'd say at family gatherings. Why can't you be more like her, Alice? I was the straight A student who earned an MIT degree in architecture. Lily barely passed state school, yet her graduation party was a spectacle. Mine was a quiet dinner. You're too serious, Mom said, brushing off my dreams. Men don't like women who are too smart. Only Grandma Evelyn saw me. You have substance, she'd say, her warm hands cupping mine. Patience, the strength to build something lasting. I thought she meant my career. Now, in that cathedral, I knew she meant my soul. Lily's betrayals weren't new. She'd always taken what was mine, my prom date, my tennis team spot, my internship at Clarkson Architecture. But Ethan was the deepest cut. We'd met at an architecture conference, dreaming of a shared firm, a home, a family. When Lily came home for Thanksgiving, she saw my ring and her eyes changed. By Christmas, she was texting him. By Valentine's Day, she was crashing our dates. By April, I found her earring in our bed. You're paranoid, Ethan said. Then I came home early from a business trip. The sight of them together in our bed tore a scream from my chest, raw and primal. His words cut deeper. She's everything you're not, alive, free, exciting. They moved in together the next week. My parents threw them a housewarming party, while I was uninvited, left to grieve alone. Mom called to gush about their happiness. Lily didn't just take Ethan. She took my wedding plans, my vendors, my dreams. She didn't know about Ethan's gambling debts, the credit cards he'd opened in my name, or the truth Grandma Evelyn had hidden for me. The fallout was brutal. At Clarkson and Associates, where I'd poured 7 years of my life, I became the office tragedy. Someone saw Ethan leaving with a suitcase. Someone saw Lily's Instagram story from my bedroom. By lunch, I was a scandal. Take some time off, my boss said, handing the $40 million riverfront project to a rookie. My promotion, my bonus, my reputation, gone. Meanwhile, Jark and Associates, our family firm, teetered on bankruptcy from Dad's bad investments. We need Lily's wedding to be perfect, Mom said. The Harrisons might invest. I learned if the company collapsed, I'd lose my inheritance, my future. Then Robert Klein called. Your grandmother was a visionary, he said, sliding documents across his desk. Jark and Associates was worth $8 million, hidden in a trust. Grandma had ensured I'd inherit it unless Lily married Ethan, whose debts and infidelity would disqualify her. Your sister has no idea, Robert said. I smiled. She's too busy stealing my life. The night before the wedding, my family ambushed me. Mom, Dad, and Aunt Clara sat in my apartment, their faces a mix of pity and rage. You will not ruin your sister's day, Dad said, his voice cold. I'm attending as invited, I replied, my heart aching but resolute. You're controlling, Mom snapped when I mentioned Ethan's $200,000 debt. He didn't leave you, I said. He betrayed me with my sister. My phone buzzed. Robert. Final review complete. Board confirmed for Monday. I stood. I'll see you tomorrow, 2:00 sharp. Mom's voice broke. Your grandmother would be ashamed. I touched the wooden box in my purse. Grandma Evelyn's real will inside. We'll see, I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. Grandma died 6 months ago, her hand in mine. Patience, my dear, she'd whispered. The quiet ones change the world. At her funeral, Lily's dramatic sobs drowned out my silent grief. 2 weeks later, Robert revealed the truth. Grandma's will was sealed for 6 months. The $8 million estate went to the unmarried heir or one married to someone financially stable, approved by her board. Infidelity with an engaged person or debts over $50,000 meant disqualification. Grandma knew Ethan's character, suspected Lily's greed. If no one qualified, the estate went to the Women's Architecture Foundation. The wedding reception buzzed with laughter, but the air shifted when I arrived. The seating chart banished me to table 19 with the catering staff's families. Lily's bridesmaids smirked. "Didn't think you'd show." I signed the guest book, my hand steady. Wouldn't miss it. The garden was my vision. White roses, string lights, Patchell Bell's cannon. I saw Charles Winston, a potential client, with Ethan's parents. 3 of Grandma's board members nodded to me, their eyes kind. As the ceremony began, Lily's vows dripped with venom. Some think they know love, but real love can't be forced. Ethan's vows were hollow, avoiding love. Father Thomas spoke of marriage as a sacred contract. If anyone knows of any legal impediment, speak now or forever hold your peace. I stood, my heart thundering. "I object," I said, my voice clear. Gasps erupted, a champagne glass shattered, on legal grounds. I walked down the aisle, my dress shimmering, and handed Father Thomas the box. Documents concerning Evelyn Jark's estate. Lily hissed. "You're lying." Robert Klein stood. The will was sealed for 6 months. Today it's final. Father Thomas read aloud. The $8 million estate goes to Alice Jark, conditional on her marital status. Unmarried or married to someone financially stable. Infidelity or debts over $50,000 disqualify any heir. Silence choked the room. "Ethan, how much debt?" I asked, my voice soft but piercing. "Over $200,000, plus fraud in my name." The crowd erupted. Lily shrieked, "We're not married yet." Mrs. Lynn, a board member, stood. "Marrying your sister's fiancé violates the morality clause." "You knew?" Lily spat, tears streaming. "I found out after your invitation," I said, my voice breaking. "You took everything, my love, my dreams, but you didn't take my strength." Ethan shouted about a prenup. Lily laughed through sobs. "What assets? Your lies?" Charles Winston turned to Dad. "You don't own the company?" Robert confirmed Dad's loans were fraudulent. Mrs. Lynn announced, "Alice is CEO, pending board approval." The wedding collapsed. Ethan faced police. Lily sobbed. My parents stood frozen. Charles Winston approached. "We want to partner with you, Alice." I drove away, leaving their world in ruins. Justice was bittersweet, but it was mine. By Sunday, the video "Bride's Sister Objects with 8 Nella's Will" went viral. Lily's influencer career died. Ethan fled. My parents faced investigations. By Monday, clients requested me at Jark and Associates. The board named me CEO. Dad tried entering the office. Security stopped him. Mom called, sobbing, "How could you destroy us?" "I didn't," I said, tears falling. I saved myself." Tuesday's headline, "Jark and Associates soars under new leadership." Wednesday, Ethan Harrison arrested. Thursday, Lily worked at Starbucks. Friday, Winston Industries signed a $40 million contract. 6 months later, the company thrived with 50 new hires. I was dating Daniel, a kind civil engineer. Grandma's portrait hung in my office. "Kindness isn't weakness," I whispered to her. "Patience is power." Lily wrote, "I was cruel, jealous. You showed me who I am." I filed it away. Boundaries before bridges. My family tried reconciling, but I wasn't ready. Betrayal had carved me into someone new, someone who turned pain into purpose. This is how I rose from betrayal, with patience and truth. What boundaries have you set after heartbreak? Share below. If this moved you, subscribe and share. The best revenge is a life rebuilt, stronger than before.